Okay. So on the bottom of page Dalet base, and in the sugi before, top of the page, page Dalet base, they mentioned something about Kelev Shota. That wasn't the real subject over there, but it came in an example about taking off mice over there. I don't see it right now. Why? Look at the wrong page. That's why. Uh-huh. So the Gemara brought down an example of a Bryce that I spoke about a dog with rabies, maybe. So now there's going to be some medical advice, and I don't see in the first Gemara that there's a halacha issue. The first sugi is going to be information, which the Gemara does sometimes about remedies and medical and sakana, that I don't see that as halacha. It has to do with the Metzias, and if the Metzias is no different today, I don't think that it has. I don't think that the Gemara is binding. It's a question about what the Metzias is. The Gemara says in the bottom, 3 lines in the bottom, Tanra Rabban Chamisha Rabban Nemu B'Kelev Shota. 5 things were said about the Kelev Shota, which would mean like a crazy dog. I think nowadays they refer to that as a dog with rabies. I'm sorry, I'm just putting it over here. What are they? Tifasuach, Veriro Note, for Ozna Shluchos, Viznaba Munach Al Yirechosa, Malach Betzide Drachim. Those are the 5 things. His mouth is open, his saliva is running, is dripping, his ears are dragging, like drooping down, and his tail is between his thighs, and he goes on the side of the road. I don't know if all those descriptions fit with a dog with babies. I don't know. Some say also when he barks, you can't hear him. So that's the simon of a dog with rabies. We're going to see the crazy dog, mad dog, and we're going to see soon that it's dangerous. Before the Gemara said Michal Shabbos to save a person. What does it come from? That women witchcraft, which sorceresses were playing around with him, means they're doing kishuf on him. Some kind of evil spirit. Today's they might say some kind of bacteria, whatever it might be, whatever's going to be the source of this craziness. Is there any ramifications between the two opinions, if it's kishuf or that it's ruach ruach? Ikebenayu remictalain. Okay, we can even get bigger over here for a while till we. If you should kill him by throwing something at him, is it okay to touch him? Or when you want to kill it, so stay far away and just throw something at him. And Rashi says that if it will be kishuf, so then it wouldn't be any worse to get near him. But if it's a ruach ruach, so then don't get near the ruach ruach. Because the ruach ruach is going to go onto the person also. It's contagious. What is that? Visit? That's what it sounds like. The Gemara says before, and it's going to say soon that let's say before it didn't say, but it's going to say soon that we do go, that the issue is that it's contagious, so to speak, and therefore do stay away. Kishuf alone wouldn't be, but
either way, you don't want him to bite you.
Yes. But the question, when you're going to kill him, does it make a difference if you kill him getting near him? Right. Make sure, of course, it doesn't bite you, but is it a problem to get close to him? So, Tani can say the Shmuel. Okay, when you have the gun, that's not good. That's called Davar Nizrak. Tani can say the Shmuel Kishogan so in Organ so Davar Nizrak. So Rashi says like Shmuel that when you kill him with something that you throw, don't get near him, because if you're going to be touching him, it's going to also be contagious, so to speak. That's the end of the brisa. Or maybe the brisa. This is still the brisa. This sounds like a more already. The Chai Ben Mistaken, the Nachas Leimayis. If somebody rubs against him, so he's in danger. If somebody is bitten by him, then he's going to die. It's fatal. Of course, there's going to be medicines. We'll see right away. We had yesterday also. There's eitzes. It says something about a dead chicken and some they chef the chicken, and it says something yesterday also about cutting off creation. That's how the brisa came in. So it is. But it means if he doesn't have any medical help, so then medical attention, so then he's going to die. So now the Gemara talks about some like many Gemara. Sometimes we see that they're understandable. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes it has to do with spiritual kind of remedies, like we had Kameya. This Gemara will have both of them. So it says that if somebody rubs against him, so he's in danger. What should he do? Nishlach mane, take off his clothing. A person should take off his clothing, because I guess that whatever disease is already on his clothing, so he should make sure that he doesn't get in contact with this. So take off his clothing, we're near it and run. It happened to Ravuna ben Yeshua that one of these dogs rubbed against him in the shuk. So he did that. He knew this Gemara. and he took off his clothing and he ran. And he said, Omar, he said, I fulfilled in myself the pasuk that says that wisdom revives its owner. It means that when a person is a chacham, so he gains physically from it. The Gemara says all kinds of benefits a person has from learning. One of them is also medically. So this is not dafka from a pasuk, but it means that wisdom doesn't have to be dafka Torah over here. Wisdom that a person has causes him life. The fact that he knew that when a person gets rubbed against by a mere dog, he should take off his clothing and run. So that caused him to be able to know it. He knew it, and he did it when it happened to him. The Brisa had said, or the Gemara said, that Nachas Le'mayis, if somebody is bitten by him, so he's going to die, what should you do for that? What's the remedy for somebody to get bitten by a mere dog? Amr Abaya. So these goes together already with Kameya and writing down certain shemos. They say Mishcha Da'afa Dichra. They take out the dalet over there, the first dalet, Dichra, not Dichra. Afa, Rashi says, is some kind of an animal. They translate it as a polecat, Polecat. They say it's similar to a weasel, so you should take the skin of this polecat. Mishra means skin. You should bring the skin of this afa, Dichra, a male polecat. How do you get that? Okay, you have to catch it. And then after that, you kill it, then you take the skin. That's the Khmer, that's the nusach. They don't call it a Khmer. What do they call that? Like the lachash. That's the lachash that you write down on the skin of this polecat. What do you write? I, Ploni bar Plonis, use the mother's name, it says over here. On the skin of a male polecat, have I written Kanti Klirus, or some say Kanti Klurus. I don't know what it means. I should have translated. And it says Hashem's name. So what that is, I don't know. And that is, you see it that it's not also to do such a thing. There is such a thing as a Kameya that you're allowed to write, and you have to know when it's called Akim Mori, when is it not. But here it says that it's mutter. Just to adjust our screen over there. Besides this, also he was bitten by a dog, so it says he should write this nusach on the skin, like you just said. And now also he should take off his clothing, and to bury it in a cemetery, the clothing, for 12 months. And then after 12 months, take out the clothing and burn it in the oven. And spread out the ashes on the fork in the road. And during those 12 months, when he drinks water, he should only drink with a straw. It says a copper straw, because he might see his reflection in the water of the shade, then it'll become in sakana. After he was bitten by a dog, this mad dog, so if he drinks water from a cup, he might see his reflection, and that reflection might be something to do with a shade. A shade is going to, a demon, that's going to be a result of the fact that he was bitten by the dog, and therefore drink in a way that he shouldn't have to see the reflection, drink with a straw. That his mother, when he had this problem, so his mother made him a golden straw in order to drink the water, and he made it through the year, and then he was fine. So far, I don't think we learned any Torah yet today. We just learned the remedy for rabies. I don't think that was Torah so far. I don't know if he said Brich's Torah. I'm not sure he said Brich's Torah. Now what we just learned. Maybe there's about to learn from it. But some halachas, you see something's not considered Aki Amori. It's not us to do certain halachas, even though that's Hashem's name. It's not everything's going to be us, but you have to know when. Yes,
hey, excuse me. Can I share a screen just for a second?
Yes, please.
What? Kelev Sheita?
That's going to be the polecat.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to catch one of those and then skin it and write on the skin. It's
pretty vicious creatures.
Yashikala. Thank you.
They can kill snakes. I believe so. Things like that.
So the caption is
Not some. He had no clothes. I don't think
Okay, somebody,
maybe some.
yeah, probably means the outer coat, whatever they might have rubbed against. Also, somebody else could help him also. Okay, the next one, the next one, the Mishnah said about Masir Bachar. The Mishnah spoke about that if somebody, the Mishnah said something about the Masir Bachar, that if someone was bitten by this dog, is it mutter to eat the diaphragm? There was some minhag that was maybe it might have been the doctors used to do that, or Shufat Safta, that to eat the diaphragm of that dog. And that was so if it's considered it's a trait for you, how to eat the dog's diaphragm. But if it's considered a fool, he's pasakana, it'll be mutter. So the question was, is it a reliable remedy or not? So Masir Bechor said yes, you got to do it. Then Rabbanan said no. The Gemara continues about the other Mishnah. The Mishnah also says something about if somebody choshesh bepiv, choshesh begrono, he has some kind of pain in his mouth, and that the Gemara says is a sakana. And the question of that is it: are you allowed to do whatever medicine they had? Is it considered a reliable medicine to be Mechal Shabbos? So that's the those thing now is going to be. Did the Rabbanan argue on the Masir Bachar? So Masir Bachar said over there that it's mutter. The Mishnah question is who's talking in the Mishnah. When the Mishnah says that it's mutter, is that only a Masir Bachar and the Rabbanan argue, or everybody knows that it's mutter, and you'd be allowed to do whatever you have to do in order to get this refuah. But tomorrow is an interesting story. Before there's other things to learn from it also. Top line. Rabbi Yochanan chash b'tzfidna. Tzfidna, they say in the Gemara's mashma, it's the same thing as the Mishnah when it says chash b'fiv, chash b'grono. It's some kind of a disease that he gets in his mouth, and the Gemara is going to say soon that when he puts something on his teeth, his gums start bleeding. That's a symptom for this machla, and it might spread into his intestines, and it's considered as skarsa. So Rabbi Yochanan had that disease. Also, Gabodahi Matronisa. He went to a certain woman, a noble woman. She knew a remedy for this disease. She did for him this treatment on Thursday and Friday, and then on Shabbos he's going to come. He's not going to be able to come on Shabbos, so he asked that she should tell him the remedy, that he should be able to do it at home remedy. How about Shabbos? You're not going to need it. It's fine. Thursday, Friday, it's okay. But if I'm going to need it, so she didn't want to lose the business. So she said, swear to me that you're not going to tell anybody the remedy. I'll tell you, I trust you, you're not going to tell anybody, but swear to me you're not going to tell anybody. So he swore, I swear to God, that the God of Israel, that I'm not going to reveal it. No, fuck, then he went out, she told him, he went out, then he publicized it. He told everybody the remedy. You're not allowed to hide remedies, you know remedy, tell everybody. So the Gemara said, first of all, he swore. How did he transgress his oath? So he said, I'm not going to tell Hashem. It means it depends where you put the comma. He said, so the Pashup shot is, I swear to Hashem, I swear to God of Israel that I'm not going to reveal. But you can read it differently. I'm not going to reveal it to the God of Israel. I'm not going to tell Hashem. Okay, I didn't tell Hashem. I told everybody else. So that's okay. That was like a loophole in his oath. Right, that kind of thing. So, but the Gemara says, but it's a chil Hashem still, because she understood that he swore that I'm not going to reveal it.
Yeah, isn't it Geneva Sadas? Geneva Sadas.
Geneva Sadas is not a problem because she's not allowed to do that. The fact that he fooled her is not a problem because she's not allowed to hide remedies. If you have a remedy, so she's the evil one that she's hiding remedies. There's people are.
I see.
So that's not a problem. The problem is that it's chil Hashem, and the question. The first one is he swore, so that he didn't swear. Second is the chil Hashem because she thinks that he swore. The answer is the Megalila Mekara. As soon as she told him, he told her, I'm going to tell everybody because I swore. He explained what he did. I swore I'm not going to tell God, but I'm going to tell everybody else because you're evil, that you're not telling anybody. So it's not a chil Hashem, and he fooled her in order to get the remedy out. Now the Gemara wants to know what's the remedy. So a lot of halacha to learn from there, just to glean some halachas that you're not allowed to hide a remedy. If you have a remedy.
Excuse me, I didn't quite understand in the story. She gave it to him for Thursday and Friday. He said, "What if I need it on Shabbos?" How does that show that she told him what the remedy is? I don't. Where does telling the remedy come into it?
So we continue. You have to read further. It says, "What if I need it on Shabbos?" So she said, "Swear to me that you're not going to say." So he swore to her, and he told her, and she told him.
Rabbi, I have another problem with this sugya.
Yes, was it okay? Lev Yaakov, was that fine?
In other words, if he needed it on Shabbos, he wouldn't be able to go to her, and he would need to know how to do it himself.
Right. So he asked her to please tell him, and she didn't want it because maybe the word will get out. So he said, so he swore, and then he said, "My oath is nothing, and you're evil for not telling everybody, and I am going to go right now and tell everybody."
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Rabbi, my problem with the sugya, Rebbe, is that he could have put other Jews in sakana because she's going to hate Jews and they're going to come to her for refuah, and she might sabotage them because of what he did, which is the same rationale I use with Zilberman kids in the cheder to tell
Yeah,
them don't
you can
talk
you
to
can
the
stop
old
over
air.
there. You can stop over there. You can stop over there. But if the point is that he put other people in sakana, so he knew the Messias was that they weren't going to be in sakana. That's good. He knew what the case was. He's not putting anybody in sakana. The Gemara continues. My Abdullah, what is the refuah? My Abdullah, what is the refuah? So this doesn't help us nowadays. Maybe we go to the doctor, but the Gemara wanted to publicize also the refuah. Sounds pretty simple. Homemade remedy. The water of a sourdough. I guess you soak the sourdough in water. Maybe that's what it means. And shemazais together with olive oil and also salt, and you put it on the teeth, and then that's the refuah. Not the mesa, but the sour itself, the sourdough, olive oil, and salt. Also the oil of the feather of a goose. Also, you don't have to have that shemazais. This kind of oil is also good. I imagine you also need the sourdough and the salt. I tried all of these things that still didn't work. I had the problem and I had all these refuahs. They didn't work. You see, Aga, when the Gemara says a refuah, doesn't mean that it's 100% like all medicines. Usually it works, but it doesn't mean that it has to work. Here it says, I would try all of them, it didn't work. But then a taya usually means an Arab merchant. I see kashasa the zesa de la molo tilsa, but kalinu benura, amora chanata, va'adbik bekachi dore. Bring olive pits. Kashasa means a pit. Kashasa the zesa, olive pits that would not grow in the third, means before it grew a whole through a third of its full growth. Unripe olives, take the pits and burn it when fire on a morachat, on a new mor. Mar is usually a hoe, a shovel, and then put it and then put it onto the gums. Avdi Yachiv, it's I did that, and then I got here. Okay, that was all about this tzefidna. Top line over here.
Again?
Chash begrona. This the Gemara is going to say now. The Gemara said what the refuah is. Now the Gemara is going to say how it, what causes it, and also what are the symptoms. Maybe
It's a gum disease?
it seems like that. Top line. You might have it. How does it come from? From very hot bread, very hot chitim bread, wheat bread, and shiur kasadas. Kasadas usually means some kind of crumb, breaded fish, fried fish, like southern fried fish, something like that. And the shiur means leftover. Rashi says were left overnight. What are the symptoms? When he put something onto his teeth, the molars, so then his gums start bleeding. Someone not goes the next two lines, but we'll read it. Some take out these two lines over here. Rashi says not to be goes it, but we'll read it straight. Rabbi Yochanan did this even on Shabbos. Rabbi Yochanan, how could he do it on Shabbos? The Mechal Shabbos. It starts in the mouth, but then it continues spreading into the intestines, and it's dangerous. So it's Mechal Shabbos. You can be Mechal Shabbos. So what's Chil Shabbos? Very nice. So if he actually makes the remedy, maybe he has to make the dough and lush, all kinds of things. But the Mishnah's mashma that just to put the medicine is also, you only do it for Shabbos. What's the problem? If just to put on medicine, so everybody knows that in Shulchan Aruch it says that if somebody is cholakal gufo, nafal mishka, you're not take medicine. There's this to take medicine on Shabbos, but if somebody can't function, so he's not take medicine. That's popular opinion. You look in the Kitzur books, it's all going to say that it's mutter. If somebody can't function, he has to go to bed. He's not to take medicine. But it's not so simple. And this Mishnah, for example, will be mashma. They're not allowed to take medicine on Shabbos, even if you're not doing any malacha. This is Rabbana, not to take medicine because you might come to do malacha, like shchikas hamamon, you might grind. So it seems in this Mishnah and other sources also that it's only mutter when it's a the koshes, which would mean if somebody has a headache, even if he's in bed, he can't function, you wouldn't be allowed to. So those that are machmir, the Mishnah Berurah says not to protest against those that are lenient because they have also sources that might lean the other way. He says the source is because it says when you're allowed to tell the guy to do malacha and at the end you're going to be taking the medicine. After God does malacha, someone has to take the medicine at the end. So there's a proof the other way also, where the Mechokes Rishoni brings a long list of those that are machmir. Agamor seems to be the pashtus, and Agamor says you're not allowed to take medicine only if it's a sakana. But there are those that argue. Halacha l'maisa, the popular opinion is like the Shulchan Aruch, and the Biur Halacha says not to protest against somebody that's lenient, but there are those that are machmir, that they don't take medicine only if it's a chashash sakana. Otherwise, they just suffer till Motzei Shabbos and they get schar for not taking medicine. But you could say that the Gemara is talking about that he had to actually do the malacha in order to make the medicine, and that's you're not allowed to do only if it's a sakana. And here it says that it's a sakana. The rest of the Gemara now.
Obviously, sour is
He's saying so is muktzah. That's also only a separate one. Okay. If it'll be a medicine, so then it'll be a mutter.
So the whole thing is
is the end of the rise?
All the heads.
Yes, that's for sure, no question. But is it mutter to take medicine if it wouldn't be life-threatening? Is it considered a medicine? So you say maybe it was designated for Justice Or. You knew, it seems like the question was Thursday, Friday. He knew he needed it already. So it seems a little bit, the pashtus would be mashma that he wouldn't be allowed to take medicine only even if it's prepared already, only if it's a sakana, and the Rashi is like that. But just to clear that the Shulchan Aruch says that if anybody is not for the mishkav, he's in bed because he can't function, so it is mutter to take medicine without doing any malacha. Just the issue of taking medicine is mutter, but just to know that those that are machmir, it's not a crazy thing to be machmir. There are sukkis that are mashma like that, and the pashas and sukkis is mashma like that. The rest of the Gemara now, till the Amud Beis, and a couple about 10 lines into the Amud Beis, is all one issue that isn't so relevant. The issue is going to be that the Mishnah says that it's a sakana and you're allowed to take medicine for this. It's a fitna. Ramasi Bacharish said so in the Mishnah. It seems he said so. We'll see who's the author. If he said so, the question is, do the Rabbanan argue? So it's not mamish relevant to us, but this sickness that they're talking about, sefidna or choshish befiv, that Masi Bacharish or somebody said in the Mishnah that you're allowed to be Mechal Shabbos, is that agreed upon by the Rabbanan? So that's going to be the next sugya. Where do we start? Top line towards the end. Your Chil Shabbos seems to be like a Masi B'chorish. It says in our Mishnah that you're allowed to take medicine for this Choshish B'fid, but the Rabbanan seem to argue. Amalei, no, they don't argue. Amalei Shani Yomer B'Zubul Ol B'Cheres. So the Rabbanan agree to this one. They don't agree to the other one about the dog with the rabies over there, teeth, the diaphragm. That's what they're arguing about. But they're not arguing about this one. This one they agree that it's a sakana and you're allowed to take medicine. Name Messiah Lay. Let's try to support him that the Rabbanan agreed to this remedy, to this sakana, this remedy. It says, Mishachsa Yerokon is a brisa that's also going to have three remedies. And the question is, the Rabbanan agree with something, they disagree with something. Mishachsa Yerokon. Again, we're going to say that Yerokon is going to be some kind of sakana. Usually it's translated as jaundice. I'm not sure if jaundice is a sakana. Any doctors here? Dr. Fine. I don't know.
It's jaundice itself. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of a sakana.
Okay.
It's a symptom of liver disease.
Okay, if it's only a simon, so then okay. So I guess the refuah is going to be for the actual disease, not just for the symptom. Anyway, it says here, so the flesh of a donkey. I don't know if that's an updated medical refuah, but that's not in the stores now. Okay, so but the question is again, eating treif. Are you allowed to eat treif? Of course, b'sar hamor is treif, but maybe if it's a sakana and it works, if it doesn't work, we know that it's a sakana and we know that it's treif. But the question was, is it a good remedy? So here it says that it's a good enough remedy that you're allowed to eat the treif for meat. The same as the Mishnah says, that according to Maser B'charash, you're allowed to eat the diaphragm of the dog, of the male dog, because it's a sakana and it works. That's the case. This is the case that we're focused on. Is this agreed upon or not? This is the case of the person who has some kind of pain in his mouth, as we said before, that his gums are bleeding. So is he allowed to take the medicine? So Maser B'charash says all these things are mutter. That eating of the meat of the donkey, for this case of jaundice, and the case of the diaphragm of the dog for the rabies, and also the sam for his mouth disease, is mutter. The question is now, what are Chachamim hold? He says it's mutter. Did a Chachamim argue? The Chachamim these don't work. So the question is, it's mashma that not all, that the Gemara somehow thinks that it doesn't mean all of the above. It means some of them don't work, but some of them do work. What does it mean? It should have just said, Chachamim say no, you can't. It says these don't work. It means some of them do, some of them don't. My love of Mutei that the first two don't work, but the last one they do agree. The last one does work. Mar says no, it doesn't mean necessarily. It could be that all these don't work, and something else in another brisa, that's what they come to argue, and they say that the other one does work. No, the Mutei Markiz and Dam Srunki. Srunki, they say, is quincy, some kind of a strangulation, some kind of a sakana. And over there, the question was, does Hakazas Dam, the letting blood, is that a refuah or not? So there's another brisa coming up, and Maser B'charash says that's also mutter, and over there, they're going to say that to that we do agree. It could be that they disagree with all these. So in this case, we're in question. Maybe they don't agree to that. So we're not sure Rabbi Yochanan is right. But when they're going to say they agree to something, maybe they agree to Makiz and Dam L'Srunki. That that's what they're agreeing with. The Tanya Shlosh Dvar Mamre Bishma Rav Yossi Sheshama Mishum Maser B'charash. Here you have it again. Rav Maser B'charash Makiz and Dam L'Srunki B'Shabbos. You're allowed to let blood for somebody who has this disease, this strangulating disease. And the case of the dog with rabies, you're allowed to eat his diaphragm. This is the one we're looking for over here. that's the case, that's the question. Achoshish b'fiv, are you allowed to take this medicine? So Ma'aseh b'chorish again said you're allowed to. These don't work. So again, what do I mean these don't work?
If they did work, it'd be okay. No.
Well, if they work, then they say it's okay. The question is if it works or not. Is it enough proven? Is it clinically proven or not? So it's something borderline. So Rabbi Bachor said it's good enough, and they say it's not good enough. If we know what that is, we'd be able to apply it nowadays to those drugs that are not so proven. How much proven is that? So we don't know how to do it. We don't know what case was. But anyway, it says here that these don't work. What doesn't mean these don't work. My lab said don't work. And that means the Sam is not good. That's a thing in question here. Maybe it does not work. And they do agree.
Right?
Yes. And the Shrunky over there, they do agree that it does work. That's what they're agreeing to. Well, Muti the ratio, the first case they say that's good. You're allowed to be makas down. But the Moshe says no, it doesn't say anything. No, authority, the ratio, or kamais, whatever the case is. Well, the Muti they say, but maybe the first two don't work, and the case of the Sam does work. So the Gemara is not sure. Rabbi Yochanan understood that the case of the Sam, this case of the mouth disease, the Rabbanan would agree that it's a good refuah and you're allowed to do it on Shabbos. So Rabbi Yochanan said that's mutter. The question is how to read the brisa. The Gemara continues. Tashma, the Tani Rabbi Bashmuel, Lo Bashevicha Machila Nosa Anch Tashav Nafsha. This was taken for granted the whole time. The Gemara say this is Pasha, that a woman who was pregnant and she has a craving, she's allowed to eat until she gets revived again, because that's a sakana. We say Yom Kippur, she's allowed to eat. Also, she's allowed to eat kachim, and what else do we say? She's allowed to eat kachim, and there was another case before, kachim and chazir. Whatever she eats, she's allowed to eat because she's in sakana. The baby's in sakana. The second of all, Misha Nashcho Kelev Shoter. This is the famous case of the rabies that Rabbi Yossi Bechor says that you're allowed to eat the diaphragm. So again, we have the case of Choshesh B'Shinav and Choshesh B'Fiv, and it says that it's mutter. Who's talking? So far, Bechor says all three cases are mutter. We agree to this, but not something else. This works, but not the other ones. So far, we have in the Brisa three things. So the case was the Ubra, that is mutter. A woman has a craving, a pregnant woman has a craving, she's allowed to eat. And the case of the Kel of Shot, which for sure they're about to argue on. And the last case is in question. And they say, this one works. So the simple shot would have been the first one works, that everybody agrees to, and the other two don't work. But the Gemara thinks that doesn't mean that. This one works, the other one doesn't work. What do they mean this one works? Which one works? The first case works. That's so simple that it goes without saying. That's not even Rabbi Bachor talking. He's not talking. That's everyone holds it at. Pshita, does anybody say that? Everybody says that the Ubra is allowed. That was a given in the Mishnah, and for sure that wasn't even a Machlokes case. So the case is only two cases left. Rabbi Bachor said the case of the dog with the rabies and the case of the Sam. And the Rabbanan say we agree to one of them, and we know they don't agree to the case of the Sam. That's fresh in the Mishnah. It must be they agree to the case of the Sam, and it's mutter. Yochanan is right, and the one is happy with that. And one more right to that. Ravashi Amar. There's even the Mishnah alone also is Meduyak. I forgot how to say Meduyak in English. It's specific. And what did he say? What's the other word? Exact. And you could be medayik. You could infer from there. You deduce that the Mishnah also is like that. That the Rabbanan agree. Everybody agrees that this case is permissible. Not only Rav Masi Bachor. The case of the Sam. The Rabbanan don't argue. The Misa, the Pligi Rabbanan alei, like Benevil Sninu, the Pligi Rabbanan b'Sefer Shramina. The way the Mishnah is written, it also sounds that everyone's talking, because the way the Mishnah says, it says that by the case of the dog with the diaphragm over there, it says Machlokes, and then it says the case of the Sam. If the Rabbanan would argue on that also, they should have said both of them together. They should have said both cases, that the case of the diaphragm of the dog and also the case of the Sam. And the Rabbanan should say no, since the Mishnah separated it, it's much, but everybody agrees. So all that Gemara gives us now. There's only one specific point that the Rabbanan agreed to that heter of the Sam, that it's a sakana and it's a refuah on Shabbos, a lot of people Shabbos, and the more comes out that it's mutter, that was a Yochanan. The specific, that actual case doesn't have relevance nowadays. But I don't know if there's anything to learn out besides that specific case.
The relevance of this sugya has to do with anything that doesn't have Metkar and a lot of areas of alternative medicine.
Since we don't know what the Gemara is basing it on, means that we don't. if it's proven it works, it works. We don't know now, so there's something in between that there's a borderline case, and we don't. The problem is we don't have the information that the Gemara is using. What's considered the borderline case, and there's machlokas rabbanan that don't rely on the Masrachor, rely on it. The Gemara will seem to be machmir.
What I hear is the main shaila is, does it work? So you need research Mechkar to show. Does it work? Doesn't it? It's statistical. How many cases? Did it work? Did it not work?
So we don't have the Gemara is not telling us what is that borderline, what is that line, what's the red line. We don't. There's machlokas going on. I'm going to pass like the Chachamim that it have to have more evidence in order to know, but we don't know what that is. So I don't know how much we could use the Gemara to apply because we don't know what is that line what is that red line that they're talking about. Okay, next sugya.
Ayin Rav Osher Weiss, his tshuvas Minchas Yitzchak.
Yeah, shikach. The Mishnah said over there that if you have somebody that something collapsed on them, a building collapsed, and you don't know if he's Jewish, you don't know if he's there, you don't know if he's alive. 3 reasons to think that maybe you're not allowed to, maybe Chol Shabbos. But all this fakes together, it seems that even if you have all three, you don't know if he's there, you don't know if he's Jewish, you don't know if he's alive, still you're allowed to do it because something in the Pashas. I said the Mishnah ends off that if you find him dead, so then you have to stop because you can't do Chol Shabbos to get out the dead man, you can't get him out after Shabbos. If he's alive, then you could. And the Mishnah ends off with Nesha Safek Nefashis. So there's extra words in the Mishnah. Also says V'chol Safek. Normally Yisul L'Meim V'chol Safek Nefashis Dochos HaShabbos. The Mishnah seems to be redundant, and it says any kind of Safek. So why is it so repetitious? And also the word V'chol. Some say the word V'chol is extra. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Lo Safek Shabbos U'Belvad. Amru Ella Afilu Safek Shabbos Acheres. So this I'll say the words. I don't have exact shot over here. But it says that the Chiddush is not only the Chilul Shabbos of this Shabbos, you have a Safek Shabbos, that you allow Mechal Shabbos on a Safek Nefashis, even Safek next Shabbos. What does that mean? Even 2 Shabbosim, it seems. So is that any more of a Chiddush that you allow Mechal 2 Shabbosim also? Let's see the words. Echidam, you go on to Amdul, Tmani Yomim, that they evaluated him that he needs 8 days of treatment of Chilul Shabbos. The first day of Shabbos, if you're going to start today, you're going to have to Mechal Shabbos this week and next week. You might think, wait until tonight, and know you shouldn't be Mechal 2 Shabbosim, that even Mechal 2 Shabbosim. That's the end of the Gemara. He's going to say Tanya Namayach, he'll still more information, but it's to say Bryce says that again. But I don't understand. The Rashash over here has many kashas, about 5 kashas in this Gemara. I don't understand if it's a Safek Nefashis, it's Docha Shabbos, even 2 Shabbosim. And if it's not, if he can wait till tonight, say even for 1 Shabbos wait. Where's the
Rebbe, maybe it's a machlokas in the pshat of Chai B'chem, because the pasuk pshat we say in that pasuk is if he's going to be able to live more Shabbos and keep more mitzvahs, so we're machalol for him. So maybe there's a pikpuk there if it's 1 Shabbos or more than 1 Shabbos. I don't know. Acheskes Chai, who knows what it is, but it sounds like it's a pikpuk in Chai B'chem. What's the pshat?
It doesn't sound like the question is if he's not going to make it to live next Shabbos. It sounds like in order to save him, you have to Mechal 2 Shabbosim. So what's the question? Why not? It doesn't say the case you're saying that he might not make it to next Shabbos, which also, I don't know if that Gemara means you allow even for Chai also, you allow Mechal Shabbos even for temporary life also, even if he's going to live till Friday.
It sounds like something like antibiotics. You have to take 10 days. So you start it whatever, or you push it off till what's the Shabbos, and then from 1 Shabbos, the second Shabbos, you surely once you start the antibiotics.
Okay, so what's the sound? What's the sound not? If you allow him Mechal Shabbos 1 Shabbos, 2 Shabbos, and what's the Chiddush? If you could wait anyway, so wait anyway. If you could wait, the Gemara seems to say that you don't wait. Now, what does it mean you don't wait? Could you wait till tonight? Is there any problem waiting till tonight?
I mean, if you get the antibiotics Friday afternoon, then you should take it Friday afternoon. It'll be 2 Shabbos that you'll be taking the medicine instead of 1 Shabbos.
If you could wait till Motzei Shabbos, should you wait?
Okay, that's the kasha.
So here seems to say don't wait and take. So
take it on Friday.
the question will be: I heard before Van Gan said that maybe if you hold Shabbos Sutra, then maybe you're allowed to take it on Shabbos even if you could wait. He needs medicine. He definitely needs medicine, but he could wait. But if you hold Shabbos Sutra, maybe you don't have to wait. Maybe you're allowed to take it even on Shabbos. I don't know. I just the Rashash has a lot of kashas here. He says a pshat that it's not so simple. I didn't look into it now, but I'm just pointing out the words. The words say that you might think that push it off until tonight in order to only have 1 Shabbos and not 2 Shabbos, and Kamash Malan that you think it on Shabbos, and even though you Mechal 2 Shabbos. Yes, Lev Yaakov.
From what I understood from what my note on the Rashash was that if he was going to push it off, if he could push it off for a few hours, then that would be fine. But if he could push it off for only a few hours and it would still be Shabbos, then there's no reason to push it off.
But if you could push it off until after Shabbos, then he should push it off.
Yeah.
So I don't see that in the Gemara at all. The Gemara seems to talk about one Shabbos, you should wait until the night, and it says, no, you don't wait until the night. You take it on Shabbos, even though you can wait until the night. So
Okay.
I'm not clear. Tani Nami Yachi, first line on the screen. The Gemara is going to say in a couple of lines, it's going to say even Shabbos Acheres. So what we're looking for, it's going to say either on the second line here, Shabbos Acheres, that's the price we're bringing. It's going to say again on the fourth line, Shabbos Acheres. So that's the price of Tani Nami Yachi, is because it says not only for this Shabbos, even for next Shabbos. But whatever else it says here is going to be extra bonus. You're allowed to heat up water for Shabbos for a chol. You're allowed to heat up water both to drink or to wash. Wash means to wash. Whatever the doctor says is good for this chol that has a sakana. You're allowed to be mechal Shabbos. It's going to say it again in 2 lines. Some take it out over here. But the point is, what the Gemara wants is that even Shabbos Acheres, whatever that means, even if it's a question of being mechal is 2 Shabbos, and you don't wait until tonight, you do it already Shabbos, this Shabbos, and next Shabbos. You don't say maybe you'll get better. You don't say that. If right now it's a sakana, you do whatever you have to do. You don't say hope for the best. You don't do that. You do whatever you have to do. You heat up the water right away. But they suffer the Pashas Stochas Shabbos. Even the suffering the Pashas also override Shabbos. Below suffer Shabbos do Pilu suffer Shabbos Acheres, and our Girsa says it twice. So they take out the first time. It's not supposed to be there the first time, and that's the price that we wanted. That even Shabbos Acheres 8 days, and he's going to end up being Michal 2 Shabbos. The price continues, which is negated to all Hilchos Refuah on Shabbos. You don't do this through Goyim. When you're allowed to be Mechal Shabbos for suffering the Fashas, don't try to get a Goy. Jews should do it. Mechal Shabbos with Jews, and also not Ketanim. They say the Gemara changes to Ketanim, not a minor. Gedolei Yisrael. Gedolei Yisrael, they say means an adult. Now, some even say Gedolei Yisrael means Sadikim, Goyis Gedolim. That it's better to take somebody choshev, that people should realize that even the choshev of people, it's not because they're machmir adarabah. The machmirim should, the ones who are speak tzaddikim and medaktikim, they should do the ones chol Shabbos. So the gears that we have, it Rashi explains, that means the Rashi is very. I'll say the Rashi. We pass like the Rashi it seems. So the Rashi says that also don't tell women to do it. Now, there's no difference between a man and a woman. By Tanim, there might be a reason that you gain that. The Katan is not really Chayv in Shabbos, and the Goy, they'd be as far to say to do it, maybe do it better with children and Goyim, because it's not a real Chil Shabbos. Mashmallah, know that adults should do it. And even Chashiva people should do it. By women, there's no difference between men and women. Women are Chayv in Shabbos just like men. But they might think that if you tell them to do it, they might think they're giving us to do it because we're women and they don't want to be Mechal Shabbos, they want us to be Mechal Shabbos, and they're going to hesitate to do it. So it's not really true. That it's nonsense. Of course, women are Chayv Shabbos like men, but don't tell them to do it because they might think you're giving it to them because you don't want to do it. That's how the Rosh is, and also now they kusim. Also, people that you can't, they're not religious enough to trust that they're going to do it well. Give it to from people that you do Chil Shabbos to save Shekamas Nefashos. And according to this Gersa, the Rosh is not avol but mipnei. Because they have some kind of idea that since you're giving it to them because you don't want to be Mechal Shabbos, and that's going to cause hesitation in the future. On the contrary, the adults, the responsible people, they're the ones who should be Mechal Shabbos for Shekamas Nefashos. Tana Rabbana. You're allowed to do malacha for Shabbos. So the word mefak literally pikuch nefesh. We always use the word pikuch nefesh. Rashi over here seems to say that the literal translation means to dig out. Like if you have mefak agal, if you have a something collapsed, so to dig out. That's what the word pikuch means. And when we use pikuch nefesh, it's already a borrowed term. Any kind of a danger that you're allowed to, any kind of suffix nefashis, you're allowed to be pikuch. You're allowed to look for the bodies, so to speak, dig out the bodies. But not always is that the point. But it's already a borrowed term. Sometimes the word mefak means to supervise. But I don't think that that's the pshat. Rashi seems to say something in French over here that seems to mean that to dislodge, like when you're unloading a collapsed building or something. So you're allowed to be Mechal Shabbos on a suffix even. But the faster you do, the person who doesn't hesitate, he does it fast. He's more praiseworthy because don't hesitate in the case of suffix.
Rabbi, I have Hagaos V'Tzionim in Rashi here that it uses the word pinui.
So I'm not sure if that's true. I don't, unless you say the word pinui means to, okay, pinui means to unload, to clear the way. Okay, that's good, I agree. Yashakov. That means to clear away the rubble. Good, Yashakov. These words, they is a issue that comes up sometimes, that if someone's going to gain on it, so we're choshish that he's doing it for the wrong reason or something, and we have to verify. So the point is going to be that if he's going to gain something from this hatzalah that he's doing, does he have to first ask Bezdin, you see, I'm doing it and I'm going to have something gain over there, but I should do it anyway, right? Because it's Salas Nefashis. So he doesn't have to. It means that he's going to be able to do it, even if it's going to be like 4 examples coming up, that he's allowed to do Salas Nefashis, even though he gained something on the side, and he's a lot of benefit from it, and we don't say don't benefit from it, maybe that was your intention. And there's a Gerson Gemara that even says you're even allowed to attend for that also. That's a chiddush to me, I don't understand. But the point is going to be that even if you're gaining from something of that Salas Nefashis, you're also allowed to do it. Let's see, the cases has 4 examples. Okay, it's out. Let's go up a little bit. Top line, end of the top line. Okay, it's that. You see a baby, a child fell into the yam, so you have to save him. You're allowed to spread out a net and save him. He didn't do anything yet, no full Shabbos even. Azar raise him a Shabbat, the faster the better. It should be Bezdin, and you're allowed to have some gain, even though you don't have permission from Bezdin that authorized it. What's the case? I forgot the side cover. Together with the net, you're going to get fish. So he saved the baby, and he also got fish. Is you allowed to benefit from the fish? Yes. And we don't say, no, don't take the fish. You're allowed, even though you're going to benefit from the fish, you're also allowed to do it. Another case, case number 2. A child fell into a pit. Okay, you want to get him out. Okay, you're allowed to dig out something in order to get a step, in order to be able to get into the bore, in order to get him out. The faster the better. You don't have to get authorization, even though you're going to benefit. What's that? I forgot the matakim darga. Now you have the step. You wanted the step. You're happy to have the step. So you say, oh, you gained from the step. No, I'm allowed to do it, even though I'm going to get a step. A third case, a door closed on a child. He's locked in. And the Gemara considers that a sakana. The fact that he's scared, you're allowed to Shabbos to break open the door. Shovrim Batzil, you're allowed to break open the door and take him out. But as raised him the faster he does it, the more praiseworthy he is. He doesn't have to get authorization, even though he's benefiting from it. What's the case? I forgot to come a mitzvah b'shifi. Even though he is, hear the word of mechaber, that's a big chiddush. I forgot to come mechaber. He's intending in order to get splinters. Especially he has some shadid, means boards, or means splinters. He's going to benefit from the wood of the door. So here, I'm surprised that it says he's mechaber for that either. Till now, he said that he benefits. So the benefit he has is a lot of benefit, even though it was Chil Shabbos involved, but he did it to save Salas Nefashis. Even though he got some benefit, he's allowed to do it. The fish, the step, whatever we had. But is he allowed to be mechaber also? He has 2 kavanas. I want to save the child, and also I want to have the wood. I would think we would tell him, you're not allowed to have kavanah. So I'm surprised at this word. I don't know. Another case, you're allowed to extinguish and stop a fire from spreading on Shabbos in order to save people that are going to be in danger. The faster the better. And even if you're going to benefit, you don't have to have any authorization in order to do it. Rashi says the word means to lower, and it means that you can have the fire is going to lower down. You're going to have coals at night. You'll have a mangal over there. So he's allowed to use the coals, even though he benefited from putting out the fire. Why do you have to have all 4 cases for? 4 cases of the same idea. Say 1 case, and I got it already. Must be a chiddush in all these cases. So the Gemara says there's a chiddush in all 4 cases. The first case that the child fell into the yam and you're getting a net and you're allowed to save him, even like getting the fish. If you're going to go ask your shus, tell Bezdin there's going to be fish over there, then you come back, he's not going to be there anymore. So it's of course you don't ask any questions and you use the net right away. But the case where the next case where the child is in a bore and he's okay, you see it, call out, he's okay. So maybe I should go get authorization if I want to be able to use the step. No, tzricha, that's also mutter. Over there that he's scared. Even though he's knocked inside the other side of the door, you can distract him over there. After the Yasser by Gizem, Shabbos lay Ambam goes. Tzricha, you can sit on the other side of the door and you could rattle something, nuts or something to keep him distracted. You see he's not crying anymore. So maybe you can calm him down and then don't be Mechal Shabbos. No, you're not. Even like Mechal Shabbos, you don't rely that you're going to come down since he's scared. You're also allowed to Mechal Shabbos. The 2 dots here don't belong because we're in the middle of the sugya. We have the 4th case still. Mechaber and Mafsikin. Lamali. What do you need? The 4th case that you're allowed to put out the fire even though you gained from the coals. Even if the fire did not yet reach the place where there's danger, so also you're allowed to put out the fire because it's going to spread, and the people in the next cluster they can't escape. It is true that if there's a fire which no one's in danger. Nowadays we don't have that because unless you're out in the wilderness someplace and there's a house. But nowadays they say that even if the building where the fire is, no one's there, but it's going to spread to the next building. If you're in a community, so then you machal Shabbos in order to put out a fire. Unless you know for sure that it's contained, no one's going to get hurt.
Rebbe,
This
the
is me,
Chofetz
what?
Chaim, the Chofetz Chaim here has a very famous arichus because they lived in towns where they had all the houses close together. He said it's a mitzvah leparsem that you should not even put up, like water around it. If you need to, you should just go put it out. And mitzvah leparsem, and he goes into arichus here.
How come we have so many stories about in Europe where they let the whole town burn down?
I would not think that's true.
Uh-huh, okay, thank you.
The town's burnt down, but not. that they
Yeah,
did
yeah,
about
town,
it.
not that they intended to. Towns did burn down because they didn't have,
The wind and
that.
everything.
But if there be, theoretically, there's one house, and nothing is in the area, mamish by itself, and everybody's out, nobody's there. The only question is saving the money, so then you're not allowed to save the house. You're not allowed to Michal Shabbos to save the property. But if any chashash that someone's going to be in danger, then you're Michal Shabbos to put it out. The Gemara, we didn't finish the daf. There's more left to the daf, but it starts a new sugya now, so I will stop here and continue tomorrow into the next sugya. Yashikach, everybody. Thank you. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or 13 minutes. Yashikach, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
With the water.